Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review along with a demo of the new Maybelline Master Camo Kit Color Correcting Concealer. And I apologize if I sound really weird. I have a chest infection. On top of that, I have a cold. 2017 has not been good to me so far, so I do apologize if I sound really blocked and nasally. I can't do anything about it. And this is the reason also why you're going to be wondering, why has she got only half of her makeup done? I've only done my eyebrows and my eyeshadow, because obviously I'm going to be showing you how to use this. So the Maybelline Color Correcting Concealer Palette comes in 3 shades. It comes in fair, medium, and I bought this a few weeks ago, and at that point they said that they were going to be bringing out a dark as well, so I'm hoping that they have brought out a dark palette. I think it's really good that there are 3 ranges of color correcting palettes, because for example, like with Sleek One, which I've done a review on before, there is only 1 shade, so sometimes certain skin tones can kind of be missed out a little bit. So what you get with this is you get a brush, which I have used. It's actually not a bad little brush, but I'm just going to put it on the side. I'm just going to use my fingers for the purposes of this demo and review, because I find using fingers to be a lot better, because these are all quite thick. And with the warmth of your skin in your fingers, it can make it a lot easier to blend into your skin rather than using a brush. You can use a brush just to apply it, but I would personally suggest using your fingers to blend it out, because you're going to be putting your foundation on top anyway. You don't have to worry too much about how much you blend and whether or not there are any harsh lines or anything like that. So what you get with this is you get a corrector, 2 corrector shades, 2 concealing shades, and 2 highlighting shades. And this is how they look. They are a little bit dirty because, as I said, I have used them. The reason that they've given so many shades, 2 corrector shades, is on the back they said the apricot, which is the bottom shade here, is to visibly improve tone, and the yellow evens out discoloration. So if you are medium skin tone, apricots and yellows are generally the shades that you want to go for to match your skin. Now, for those of you that don't know what color correctors are, they're basically makeup that you place in certain places on your skin to correct, to neutralize, as well as make your skin look a lot more even. For example, me, I've got darkish bags under my eyes, which a lot of medium skin tone people have, especially South Asian skins will always get darker skin the older they get under their eyes. Obviously when we're kids we don't have that, but as we grow older, stuff happens. What can you do? As well as I've got some redness around my nose, because I've been blowing my nose so much, because obviously I'm all bunged up, I've got a cold. I've got a scar on my face from when I had surgery last year to remove a cyst. And then I've also got random discoloration spots as a result of having acne as a teenager, and that's the reason why my skin isn't all one perfect colour. Most people don't have one perfect colour skin. For those of you that do, I hate you. You're so lucky. I'm so jelly. And generally I would say not everybody needs to use colour correctors. You only really need to use them in a really serious instance. For example, you've got really dark circles under your eyes, then yes, definitely use it, because most people tend to just use their concealer to spot areas and that sort of thing, and your concealer and your foundation should be good enough that it does the job for you. But in certain instances you may need to use a color corrector, but again, this is only for really intense purposes. So, and then you've got 2 concealing shades, and it just says blend the shades for precise skin match. Conceals imperfections or dark circles under the eyes. So again, this is to use on your face. You can kind of mix the 2 shades together to make your own shade, which is why they've given you 2. And then the highlighting shades, which are cream highlighters, says brightens the high points of the face to enhance features. Apply to cheekbones, forehead, bridge of nose, chin, and on the brow bone. Now, the only ones that I haven't really used, I would say, are these 2, because I tend to use powder highlighters. But then this is also a nice to use for kind of like a more natural kind of highlight that you're going for. I have used this. I am quite happy with it. So I am going to show you now a demo of how I have been using it on my skin. So I'm going to first go in with this apricot shade to kind of spot the areas on my face that I would like to slightly conceal and hide. I'm going in quite thick with that because that is a very red scar that I've got. And I'm going in a little bit more lightly on my face because I'm going to apply foundation on top anyway, and my foundation is full coverage, so it should cover everything. I'm not going to place the yellow one directly under my eyes because I've got a concealer which is a few shades lighter than my skin. Otherwise, I will end up with too much of a highlight underneath my eyes. Now, with the two concealer shades, this one down here, which is more of a kind of an apricot-y shade, is a little bit, it's not quite the right tone for me. I'm going to go for the top one, which has got a little bit more of a yellow undertone, and place that under my eyes. But I'm going to go in very lightly because when it comes to applying corrector, then concealer, then powder, you can have the tendency to go in and then look really, really cakey. So just bear in mind, just tap a little bit under the eyes because I'm going to apply concealer on top afterwards anyway. I'm also going to apply some on my nose because as I said, as I've got a cold and I have an oily T-zone area, the foundation on my nose is always what tends to go first. And obviously if I'm blowing my nose, it's the same sort of thing. So I'm going to apply concealer so that afterwards I can apply foundation and nothing moves around too much. Now that your face looks like, I don't know what, like you've got some sort of illness, I'm going to start to blend it all in. Now, as I said, you can use a beauty blender, but I do find that using a damp beauty blender means that part of the product will soak into the actual sponge itself. You're not trying to shear out your foundation. You want the color corrector to remain. So sometimes it's best to use a brush or use your finger. I am just going to use my finger to blend it all out. I'm going to speed it all up so that you guys can see me do it really quickly before I apply my concealer and my foundation. So there you go. So now you should look like some sort of ill ghost, which is the effect that we are obviously going for. Now, I do have to say that if you've got very dry skin, this will cling to dry patches on your face. This is not a creamy concealer kind of situation or a creamy foundation. It's a color corrector and it can be quite drying. I recently had eczema on my face, which I've managed to get rid of using hydrocortisone cream. Very mild, but it was all over my chin, and before it was actually attaching itself to the eczema. So if you have got eczema patches, don't apply it because it'll just accentuate the dryness. So my face is very nicely moisturized. I've used the Embryolise cream, which is a part of my new skincare routine. I think I'll do a skincare routine video soon. And that's why nothing is clinging now to my face. It's not sticky feeling or anything like that. It actually feels quite dry. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply my concealer and my foundation. And the concealer that I'm going to be using is my new Tarte Shape Tape concealer in the shade medium. This is now my favorite foundation, favorite concealer. I thought that nothing could top Urban Decay until this came along. I absolutely love it. And then on my face, I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation in the shade Honey Bronze. As I said, because I've got a cold and this is almost non-transferable, it stays when I brush up, when I blow my nose, and not a lot of the foundation comes off, so I've been using this quite a lot recently. So I'm just going to speed on ahead and show you the end result. Oh, and I forgot to say, to set everything, I'm going to use the Maybelline Matte Maker Mattifying Powder, and my shade is in 30 Natural Beige. I actually just realised I did that in the wrong order. I normally do my foundation, then I do my concealer. Duh. Alright, so if you are going to try and copy me, do it the other way around, yeah? Foundation first, then under eye concealer. I'm going to have to go over it again now, stupid. And I'm using the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush to blend it all in. Okay, normally any extra foundation I've got left on my hand goes on the bits where I feel need a little bit of extra coverage, but I do have to say that my skin looks absolutely flawless. It is all one colour. There is no area which is darker or lighter than the other. Everything looks uniform, and that's exactly the purpose of using colour correctors underneath all your makeup. Not just that, my skin looks abnormally flawless than it normally does because of the fact that it's got colour corrector, concealer, foundation, and then it's going to have powder on top as well. So that's just something to bear in mind sometimes when you want to maybe go for a more dramatic full-on glam makeup look, that you can use colour corrector. What I'm going to quickly do though is just go back in a little bit, just a little bit with the concealer, because obviously the purpose of this concealer is to highlight, for me anyway, and because I went over it with the foundation, it kind of just made it all one colour. This sponge I actually got with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I got it from QVC. Right now you can see that everything is more illuminated under the eyes. Normally I would use like a banana powder on the eyes, but just for the purposes of this video I'm going to use the mattifying one from Maybelline to set the under eyes so that there is no creasing happening. I know I'm being extra in setting these points because I'm about to set my whole face with this anyway. So I'm just using a Sigma, what brush is this? It is a large powder F30 brush. I am a Sigma affiliate, by the way. If you want some money off, what's the code? Sigma 2017. I think you get 10% off. I'm a really bad affiliate. I forget to mention codes and things. Just randomly remembered. It's probably the first time I've ever actually mentioned it in a video. Here's my code. And that's it. How does my face look? Plastic, yes? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, off camera, quickly finish off the rest of my makeup. Come back and I will let you know what my final thoughts are. Hello, I'm back. Makeup is all complete. My lipstick I'm wearing is one of the Makeup Geek Plush Matte lipsticks, and this is in the shade Cougar. Done the rest of my face. So what do you guys think? See how flawless it looks? It looks more flawless than it normally does. I mean, I know on camera it may not seem that way. You're probably like, eh, she looks the same as she always does. But trust me, in person, I can definitely see the difference. I love the fact that I can't feel any kind of cakiness. I can't see any drying. Like nothing has clung to the skin. I also find that using these, because it's almost like, obviously I've got another layer on underneath my normal layers of foundation, I feel that it keeps all my makeup in place a lot longer. It's almost like having something on top of my primer, and that actually just reminds me I didn't put primer on. Which is fine because, you know, the foundation is actually very good, the double wear foundation and everything else. And if you do feel that maybe you've got a little bit of, it feels a bit dry because you've put more makeup on than you normally have, a quick spritz of something like Fix Plus or Urban Decay setting spray, just anything like which has like a spray of liquid over the face, just do a nice mist over it so that it will settle on top of the foundation and disperse any extra powder that may be lurking around. So on the whole, I'm very happy with this product. I think it does exactly what it's supposed to do. I think that it works really well, especially for a drugstore product. I know I haven't used the highlighter, but as I've said, personally, I prefer to use powder highlighters. I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera Illuminator right now. I don't like to use really cream highlighters, but that is not to say that you can't apply a little bit of this to the brow bone, a little bit on the end of your nose, your cupid's bow to make your lips look fuller, or a little bit on your cheekbones, just for that very natural kind of glow. So yeah, so overall I'm very happy with this product. I hope you guys enjoyed this review and demo. If you've got any comments or questions in regards to this in particular, let me know below. Other than that, I hope you guys are fabulous, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!